Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water is back. Here's why it's so important. We're super stoked to hear that Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water is coming back to home viewing. GKIDS has kept us feet at the cinema with their screenings. Studio Ghibli and otherwise, and their home video acquisition are just as exciting. If you're a longtime fan of the series, you're probably already eager to get your hands on the incoming 4K restoration. But if you're new to it, allow us to help build your hype, because this show is kind of a big deal and not just because of certain Disney movie bears more than a passing resemblance to it. It's a Hayao Miyazaki story. GKIDS and Ghibli go hand in hand, so Nadia seems like a no-brainer of a get. Why? Because the story originates from early Jules Verne treatment by Hayao Miyazaki, originally titled Around the World in 80 Days by Sea. The anime was meant to be an adaptation of 20,000 League Under the Sea, but Toho, who originally hired Miyazaki to write the series in the 1970s, never went ahead with the project. To keep the story, well, the director went on to use elements of it in his other work. That's why you maybe see similarities to things like Future Boy Conan and Castle in the Sky. But what about the people who did eventually make it? It's a turbulent Gainax production. When Nadia did film finally come into being, it was in the hands of Gainax. And up until then, they only ever made films in OVAs. That was the first ever television series, but they didn't really own the rights to it. And they lost money on it. And one of their co-founders, basically it was messy. Originally, Gainax co-founder Hiroyuki Inoue headed up the project for NHK, but after the internal power struggle that saw Inoue leave the company, Hideki Ana stepped in. There was a handful of years before Evangelion, making it an interesting look into his early directorial style. And if Nadia's profile seems oddly familiar, then character designer Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, who could also go on to work on Eva. Sadamoto even admitted that Shinji is pretty much just Nadia redrawn as a boy. It's a Jules Verne-esque adventure. As mentioned, Nadia the Secret of Blue Water was initially pitched as an adaptation of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Miyazaki's version. Two kids will accompany Captain Nemo, and here I have two kids, and Captain Nemo, yep, he's in there. He looks more than a little like Captain Global from Macross, and his backstory is absolutely wild, but he's in there. Since the story is its own thing, it's free to go all sorts of places. Not all those places are fan favorites. The island arc is its own special something. But ultimately, it's a fun and inventing series that lovers of classic sci-fi adventure will want to know. Nadia the Secret of Blue Water hits Blu-ray soon. Discover more classic anime with these Tatsunoko titles.